Welcome to Happy Today podcast. This is a podcast for those who want to improve service experience of internal services. If you use ServiceNow or other enterprise service management system, then this is for you. So welcome to episode 4 of the Happy Today podcast. Today we're going to talk about happiness score. And what is happiness score? So happiness score is something we gather from all the customers. From all the IT incidents and requests and HR and so on, we have around 1.5 million responses in our database. And from this, we actually publish a public number on our website. So you can go to happysignals.com/happiness score. Today, Sami will tell us a little bit of what we found from the numbers in April 2019. So we understand where the world is going, what has been changing. But yeah, let's start. So basically, first something like the overall number. And now today we are talking about the IT incidents. We have around 300,000 responses from last 6 months where this number is gathered. So what have you seen in the overall numbers?
All right, so today exactly the happiness score is 64, and about half a year ago it was 62. So that seems to be kind of about the level. 2 points up might sound not much, but in fact when we are measuring also the lost productivity, so the perception of how many hours and minutes was lost per ticket, that has been changing a bit more. So that was about 6 months ago, that was 3.5 hours. So now it's less than 3 hours per incident. So still a lot, but I would say this is looking good, at least from our customers' perspective, that they are getting better, getting happier employees and getting the kind of the lost work time down.
All right. The next topic in our happiness score is profiles, and the profiles is something that it's a thing that we do. It's an IT behavioral profile. So how do you behave when you have an IT support situation? So tell us a little bit on those. What we can learn from the profiles.
All right. So these profiles are done in a way that we know that some of these profiles people are a bit more technical than others. And the other question that we have in our surveys is that what do you do when you have a problem with IT? Do you try to solve it on your own, or do you just contact service desk for help? So with these 2 questions, technically and willing to solve it on your own, we divide people to these 4 different groups. The biggest profile that we have in our benchmark is doer, and it has been getting bigger and bigger all the time. And this doer profile is a person who is technical and has tried to solve the problem on their own. So, and that is the biggest and the most challenging profile from service desk perspective, because as already said, they are technical, they have tried to solve it. So when they contact service desk, it's a complicated issue.
Yeah.
Also, I think the growth of people in this profile is because there is more and more so-called millennials or even younger people entering the work environment. So their demand and their skills are higher in IT than the ones that are leaving workforce.
Yeah, probably it also might reflect that people are just using much more IT in the consumer world. So when they are just on their outside work, they're using mobile devices and all these kind of things. So they kind of also feel that, hey, I'm actually getting more confident with the IT devices.
Yeah. But I think later on we will have a total episode about these employee profiles. Yes. But if you want to now get more information, go to our webpage and there is a download free ebook about these profiles. True. But I love them. It's just easier way to think about and making sure that all agents and everybody in the IT understand that you cannot really have one process for everybody to make them happy. But let's go to the next area.
All right. So the next topic we have are the channels. So the channels are reflecting how employees start their IT tickets. So is it through email, phone, self-service portal? Do they go to an on-site support, or are they using something like chat? So what have you learned from those numbers?
I think this has been changing during the years quite much, and still I would maybe start this by that in our benchmark now there is 32% of all feedback is still gathered through email, the ticket was sent through email.
True.
And then 29 phone, 19 portal. And now remember, this is IT incidents. Request a bit different thing, but we don't have time for that today. Then walking only 1% and chat 3% at this stage.
Yeah.
I think maybe the surprising part here is that when when we start to talk with new customers or prospects or in whatever event about end user experience, many people first think the portal, and that is the way to get people satisfied. But in reality, portal is the most hated channel from end user side. But maybe that word is not the right, because it's the expectation level for portal is also really, really high, because end users are comparing portals in the working environment to the ones they are using in their consumer life. So the expectation level is big, and you have to really have the portal in done with the end users using their language, is not IT language and so on.
What about the emerging channel called chat? I know when talking with customers that many are now considering taking into use. So what do you see from that, from how satisfied and how productive it makes employees?
I think the main point when you are looking at these channels, you have to really understand that the channels to compare are portal and email. And then you have to think about chat as an option to per phone, because typically you are taking care of the most easiest cases in chat and phone. And that's why they typically are having quite high, also for that reason they are having high kind of a happiness compared to other channels. But chat has been changing very much, and I think it was like a year ago, it was the happiest channel after walking. It was like 75 even. But the thing is that I think what has happened here is that now we still have all the chats and chat spots in the same. So chat spots are not yet really on the level that are making end users happy, to be honest. So now the happiness in chat is only a bit higher than in portal, so that is 60, and the portal is 57.
Yeah, I think you can still see that the productivity number is quite good on the chat. And also what I've learned is that I've seen customers where the people are not happy with the chat. It might be that they have just rolled it out. So we have a technical capability, let's just put it on, without actually thinking, how do we properly manage that channel? What is really the strategy for that channel? So maybe that is also, because it's a new thing, so you need to figure out.
And what we have been trimming, Pasi, you know that this now chatbots using those profiles is something that we are still waiting for the first customer to really do that in action, but that will be an enormously good thing for chatbot to really direct the technical people to technical directions, or if you are supported, just help them and ask them to call you or call them. That would have a huge difference in the experience of end users.
Yeah. Okay, the last thing we have on the public happiness score is the country aspect. And I think this country aspect is also very interesting for global organizations where they have employees in different countries, because it might also reflect other things than just how happy country A is compared to country B.
I would even say that this reflects in the opposite way. If the happiness of the country is really high on overall, the expectation level from IT services is high and you get lower scores. But if you are having kind of rough life, then it's easier to get high scores in IT support because your expectation level is not so high. That's maybe very, very roughly said, but in overall what we have seen here is that Netherlands is the most critical country. I won't say that they have the worst service. No, they are not having, but they are really critical. Interculture giving 8 is really high score. And in let's say in US, giving 8 is almost like Netherlands would give you 0 at the same time. So there is cultural differences, and then you have to really understand that 34 is the average in Netherlands, and let's say there are countries over 80. What seems to be the situation in Europe is that almost all Western European countries are under our benchmark, and most of the Eastern European countries are over it, and I think that's also a cultural thing, that it's some countries it is easier to give bad feedback than in some others.
Yeah. And I think the people watching this on the YouTube channel can actually see the slides, and if you don't, you can always go to the episode notes, and we have a link there. But basically, we can see that like the European, Western European countries, they are the most critical ones. Yeah. And then, like you said, when you go outside of that, then you I guess the expectation for the IT is not as high.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the update on the happiness score. So we'll do this probably like 2-3 times a year, see what it has been changing. But this was now the first introduction to the topic.
Yeah, and hope next one will be about HR or finance benchmark, which will be released, hopefully.
True. I think we are pretty close on gathering data on those as well. Yeah. Thank you for listening, and you can go to our website and look at the happiness score yourself. Thank you.
Thanks.